Luigi Mangione now faces federal charges for the murder of Brian Thompson in New York, where he's accused of gunning down Brian Thompson, the CEO of United Healthcare, in broad daylight in Manhattan, who will be taken to the same jail that the creep P. Diddy is, federal detention center in Brooklyn. Now that he's hit with Fed case, he is facing the death penalty. And one thing about the feds, they don't indict you unless they're 100% sure they can give you forever and a day. Let me go over his indictment. First, he has a first-degree murder charge for the alleged murder of Brian Thompson. Number 2 is the second-degree murder to further terrorism. What that means is you committed an act of violence, a murder, to further terrorism, to strike fear in the political network and society and the fabrics, terrorism. This law was introduced after 9/11. 3 is just second-degree murder for the murder of Brian Thompson, saying it wasn't premeditated. I'll explain why they have first and second. 4 is criminal possession of a loaded firearm, just possessing a loaded gun illegally. It's usually the magazine they'll get you for, the bullets they'll get you for. 5 is criminal possession of a firearm unlawfully. It doesn't have to be loaded or not. Just the fact that you're in possession of one is a crime if you don't have a license or any type of registration to prove it's a legal gun. Number 6 is a New York law. It's criminal possession of an assault weapon, which is a third-degree felony. 7 is criminal possession of a silencer, which is also a third-degree felony. They bammed him on this. They got him criminal possession of a weapon, the 4th degree, and they hit him with this. Possession of the Magpul magazine is just a type of ammunition that goes into the magazine. They hit him for the gun, the silencer, the bullets, the magazine, and they gave him criminal possession of a weapon, a ghost gun, a pistol without a serial number on it. Not necessarily made with a 3D printer. That's yet to be proven. But it's a weapon that does not have any traceable serial number or registration on it. 11 is a second-degree felony. It's criminal forged documents, basically just having that fake ID. Also has stalking. It's not your normal type of stalking where, you got some creep-ass motherfucker showing up to some girl's house, freaking out, or some chomo looking for kids. This is somebody that is premeditating an act of violence, watching someone wherever they go, and they're doing it through the internet. They're doing it through all different means of resources. And the person does not have to be in fear. That's the difference. Where a lot of times somebody that's stalking will be a creep that can't handle that rejection, or they're a chomo and the person's in fear. They call the police. Dude gets aggravated stalking. Chomos and creeps. This is stalking where you're using the internet to locate somebody to go assassinate them, beat them, whatever it may be. Another federal crime is using a firearm in the commission of a violent crime. They banned him. They hit him with everything possible because a lot of times these are just state cases. But the biggest thing is when you leave a state to avoid prosecution, or you go from state to state monitoring your victim and then assassinate your victim, and you were watching him from another state and then left to another state to avoid prosecution. Usually the feds get involved, especially with a silencer, serial numbers taken off the gun. And that manifesto, relates to a lot with the Unabomber. And his brother turned him in, and, he ended up dying in the feds. However, he was a terrorist, and that's how they got him on the Terrorist Act. He left a lot of clues on his social media leading up to this as well. So he now faces the death penalty. And the reason why they go with the first-degree murder and the second-degree murder, it's fucked up. However, whenever you have state charges, fed charges, or even just one or the other, what they do a lot of times when there's a lot of publicity and a lot of people cheering and rooting for one person, or, in the public media, he is a hero to a lot of people, a Robin Hood. So they like to go and say, all right, we're gonna hit him with first-degree murder. Obviously, he was stalking. He has the manifesto. But then in their mind, they're like, damn, what if in the public opinion, we don't win? So they also use second-degree murder. And they say, well, we can prove that there were some times where he wasn't really going to murder him. Look at the manifesto. First, he was going to use a bomb. So that's their way to ultimately 100% secure a conviction. It's fucked up, but that's what I was saying. Even if you think a jury is going to go in there emotionally and speak for how they feel, it's not how it works. If everybody acted when they were wronged, everybody would be in prison right now. Everybody's a gangster until it's time to do gangster shit. And I'm not saying this is gangster, but that is the truth. if you've been wronged by a company, a person, or anything, most people will say they'll do something, but then they'll say, well, I'm not going to risk it because we live a comfortable existence. However, when someone does go against the grain and they fight the elites and the powers, they become a hero for us peasants, quote unquote. And we feel like that is our anger, that is our strength. That's how the world works sometimes. So when they get him in there, they say, okay, well, you might have no personal emotions, but you know he did it. We proved he did it. So you might not think he did it premeditated. Oh, you think it's a mental health thing? That's why we have second-degree murder. And that's how they pulled that one out. And they went and got him with the ammunition, the magazines, the pistol, the silencer. When the feds get you, they're 100% saying, we're going to start at the death penalty. You're facing 3 counts of murder for 1 murder. As in the second-degree murder, the first-degree murder, and the other second-degree murder, which they said he murdered him for a terrorist act, which is saying that, okay, you don't think he did premeditated murder? Oh, you don't think he just snapped and shot this dude? Well, you have to think that he killed him for a terrorism plot to show the world he has a manifesto. It has a lot to do with politics. As usually a manifesto is a declaration of beliefs, movements, ideas against policies and political gain and fighting for what's right in the eyes of that person. And it usually has violence or some type of uprising with it. So they got it to where they're trying to 1000% secure a murder conviction, a pistol charge. Oh, well, he didn't have a ghost gun. Okay, well, he didn't have a silencer. Oh, okay, well, he didn't have, like, they just charge you with so much shit. So by the time you're done, something's going to stick. That's how the feds get everybody, especially since there's no witness. Now, I saw where they were trying to put pressure on the mom saying, how did you not recognize him? And man, the law is the law. If you see a family member and you don't want to turn them in, you don't have to. And the law is like that for this reason, because if everybody saw the TV and thought that their family member was them, they can get them cased up, bammed up anytime they want it. Or if somebody has a moment of, that's my son, he was feeling so bad about what happened to our family, his surgery. They don't want somebody to ever act on emotion. It has to be facts over feelings. And it could hurt the case. That's why they have it. Not to protect the mom or anything, to protect their case. So he will be in a federal holding jail until his case is over, in the same jail that P. Diddy is. Now, the difference with Mangione is, one, he's not a creep, pedophile, chomo, fucking rapist like that motherfucker is. And a lot of people would say, well, he doesn't know how to fight, he doesn't know how to do. You don't get it. In prison, it's not about fighting. For one, it's about who's the most violent, stabbing and cunning. And he also brings visitations, money. He brings intelligence, and he is a murderer, allegedly. Also, everybody in the system has been fucked over one way or another. Not the chomos and all them, but, you know, people that have grew up in drug addictions or bank robbers, drug dealers. A lot of them have seen the system fuck them over time and time again. Now, that's no excuse, but it usually happens directly or indirectly to a family member. And even a lot of them have been through things with healthcare or DCF agencies, these chomos, and they've wanted to snap and kill somebody, but they didn't. They let it go because they didn't want to go to prison, but they ended up going to prison anyway. So as you've seen the whole jail screaming because they have respect for him. One, the man went and murked somebody that everybody in that prison probably has been fucked over by healthcare one way or another. Not the chomos, fuck them. And the way people say, oh, he's a rich dude, he can't fight. Oh, no, that's even more dangerous. Because in prison, it's never about fist fighting. It's about violence, about stabbing, about that cunning mindset, that unbreakable will. Somebody that's the valedictorian, Ivy League grad, comes from money and chooses to plan, plot, and execute a murder in broad daylight, instead of just saying he was mad about the system, but nah, I'll just go live in my ivory tower. Fuck that. Everybody can judge from their glass house. But I guarantee, one way or another, every single human in a certain class has felt, damn, this agency, DCF, fucked me over with my kids, or this court system or healthcare, but they never acted on it. So when you see this, you can relate. However, he's got a long road ahead. It's It's going to be wild. Stay out. Stay free. Us.